So in this demo, we're talking about threat defense. And threat defense is a key element of our borderless network strategy. Joining me is Srini. Srini, great to have you.
Nice meeting you.
So what are some of the challenges that customers are facing around threat defense and security?
In the borderless networks world, one of the most important things to realize is that your networks are growing outside the borders of your enterprise. So it's extremely important for you to enforce consistent policy across the devices that you may or may not actually control.
Okay.
So consistency of policy definitions and being able to view really what is happening in your network so that you can make sure that your policies are consistent and you can modify in a quick and efficient way is extremely critical for borderless network management.
That's great. Now what are the Cisco products that enable us to do this?
The three products that we have here on the demo, one is the Cisco ASA firewall, the firewall that actually acts as a borderless network entry point, and then the IPS sensor which actually detects the threats that are entering or exiting out of your network, and then the Cisco Security Manager here that actually shows in a very intuitive way what really is happening in your network. Those are the three products that we have in the demo here.
So let's talk about the demo. I understand you're going to show us really kind of the elements of IPS intrusion prevention, and also kind of switch to some policy. So what's happening here?
Absolutely. So what really is happening is this is a Cisco SIO kind of a screenshot which actually shows all the threats that are actually happening in the world across the different geographic locations.
Okay.
There could be a SQL injection that is a common threat that is happening in US West Coast. There could be some threats that are originating out of China and some others that are originating in Africa somewhere.
Okay.
So what we are showing here is all the threats that are actually happening across the world at this point of time.
Okay.
And then these threats, when they actually enter into your network, the devices that we have, Cisco ASA firewall, as well as the IPS sensor, we actually detect those threats and send the alerts to Cisco Security Manager.
Okay, so this is Cisco Security Manager here, and we're literally seeing a list of threats that are occurring on the network.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So once as an administrator you see a particular threat coming up into your network, you can really drill in and find out what is the criticality of this particular threat.
Okay.
What is the reputation of the guy who is sending this threat.
Okay.
And once you do your due diligence, you can decide that this may not be the right kind of threat that you want to see in your network. Right click and quickly remediate what is happening in your network.
Okay, so there's kind of the alerting and then the remediation of the threat that is combined into the single solution.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about policy? I know that's a big topic for a lot of enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the borderless networks, as I said earlier, it is extremely important to enforce consistent policy, not just for enforcing consistency, but also for compliancy purposes. So the way Cisco Security Manager helps you set up consistency policies is it enables you to set up a corporate-wide policy and make sure that the same policy is actually applicable for every single gateway in your network. And a local administrator can actually fine-tune this policy definition for his own location.
Okay, so I can do a central policy configuration on the ASA and have that be then represented across the globe. So it's really a time savings approach as well.
Absolutely. And one single policy change that you made for your corporate policy, that same definition can be deployed in one single shot to hundreds of different firewalls.
Now my assumption here is that a lot of what's driving businesses to look at this is compliance. Is that a key issue here as it relates to threat defense and policy?
Yeah, compliance is extremely critical. Making sure that organizations track who is making changes to their network, at what time, what kind of changes is also extremely critical.
Okay, great. Well, Srini, this has been very interesting. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
And again, what you've seen here is threat defense using Cisco ASA and Cisco IPS solutions to help ensure that enterprises really have the best security to meet their regulatory compliance issues. So from Cisco Live, thanks for tuning in.